Welcome to the J. Carr Report podcast, brought to you by the esteemed Johnston County Association of Realtors. Whether you're an aspiring agent, seasoned professional, or simply intrigued by the dynamic world of real estate, this podcast is your ultimate gateway to the industry's latest trends, expert insights, and insider knowledge. Join us as we unlock the secrets to success, explore market dynamics, share inspiring stories, and provide invaluable tips to help you navigate the ever-evolving real estate landscape. Get ready to embark on a journey of discovery as we empower you with the tools and strategies to thrive in the competitive realm of property transactions. Tune in, stay informed, and elevate your real estate game with the J. Carr Report. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining the J. Carr Report today. We are here with Dean Penny. He is a senior project executive for Craig Davis Properties. So, Dean, let's start off by just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I am a product of Johnston County. I was born and raised right in Clayton. I went to Clayton High School. After that, went to NC State. Got my engineering degree.
Go Pack.
Yes.
Oh, great time to be a Pack fan, isn't it?
Yes, it was. It's been a great few sports seasons here.
Yeah.
So I graduated, and to tie into that, I graduated from NC State in '83.
Yeah.
So I was there
man.
during the Jim Valvano era.
That's awesome.
Met my wife there, and we started our life together and career. I spent a little more than 35 years in the consulting engineering field, working for a firm that gave me the opportunity to work all over the country. I tell people all the time I had the option. I could have moved anywhere I wanted to, and there was probably nowhere I'd rather live than here in Johnston. Yeah. It's just, and I could have and got asked to go a number of the places. I'm not leaving Johnston
That's
County.
great. Yeah. It's a diamond in the rough.
So it really is a great place to raise a family. We've got 3 grown children now and 8 grandchildren. Number 9 on the way next month.
Congratulations.
We're excited about that.
Yeah.
But no, it's just this is definitely home to me. Been very blessed. I've finished that career and retired. And Craig Davis was one of my clients. He started talking to me about coming into business with him. And early on in that conversation, I was like, "No, I'm retiring. I want to retire." Conversations kept going, and then I introduced him to my cousins who owned the farm that my dad grew up on and that I still love. And that one thing led to another, and I was like, I need to be involved in that project.
Yeah. And tell us, where is that farm located?
So this is the Penny Farm. It was right there on the interchange of the current 70 bypass, the future airport, and N42. So we're sort of in I guess what you would call the northeast quadrant or southeast quadrant. Anyway, we're opposite of the hospital in Springbrook on 42, on the Clayton side of the bypass. That farm used to be larger. The part we bought was about 65 acres. Yeah. And we've been fortunate enough to now assemble, we're pushing 300 acres total that we've assembled adjacent to and around it, and then some parcels outside.
Great. And so you were saying that was your father grew up on that farm? And
my grandparents bought that farm in the late 1930s. And it stayed in the farm or in the family as a family farm until we bought it. I would say, I can't remember when 2021.
Just out of curiosity, what type of farm?
Small family farm. So we had cows, we had hogs, we had corn, we had potatoes, sweet potatoes. I used to love getting up potatoes because every time we got potatoes, the scuppernongs were also right. And we had a scuppernong vine right there by the potato barn. I can remember eating them till I got sick. In the latter years, it was mostly hay. As we got out of the animal farming, it turned the farm mostly over to hay. So for probably the last 20 plus years, it was mostly a hay farm. So,
yeah, great. And
a little bit of tobacco.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
A classic North Carolinian.
Yes.
I have a little side of that. So again, going back to your father grew up on the farm, and then your cousins kind of started an idea for a project that you wanted to hop into?
My dad had several siblings, and most of them did not want farm. My Uncle Jack was the one that decided he did want to farm. So the farm, as it went from my grandparents down to the next generation, Uncle Jack and his family basically took it up and ran it for the bulk of its life. And Uncle Jack had four kids that are my cousins, and he passed away, Lord, more than 20 years. My aunt was still there, and then one of the cousins was primarily the one running the farm. And as they started aging out and my aunt was nearing death, they decided they needed to sell the farm. So I'll bore you. There's a long story behind that, but ultimately I stepped in with one of my cousins who became the lead spokesperson. He and I talked and wanted to find out, what did they want? What did they want to see the farm go to? And I think primarily they didn't want to see it go to just big box parking. They really wanted to see still have a place for people to live, play, and work. While the work might not be farming, it might be something else. So that was sort of the beginning seeds of, okay, what could we do to maximize the value of the land to them, but provide something to the community that is needed. So that was sort of the beginning seeds of the idea.
Yeah, that's great. Now, tell us a little bit about the Copper District, where that name came from and how it kind of went from that initial idea into now this, amazing. Yeah. It's just going to be phenomenal.
We are very excited about it.
Yeah.
Let me talk a little bit about the name. I think it's kind of neat, but some people may think it's corny. So at Craig Davis Properties, we've worked with a consultant for a number of years around the country that's helped us with branding and naming things, and naming streets, naming projects. They came and interviewed me and interviewed my cousin Paul and talked to a variety of different people. And we started throwing out names and ideas in what's on the lawn. You wouldn't believe the amount of effort we did into this. Nothing.
Yeah.
Months went by. Nothing that we really liked.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the phone with him one day, and just out of the blue, I said, my wife and I's first dog was named Copper, and one of the guys goes, "What about Copper?" And it just stuck.
Yeah.
And so it's really named after one of my dogs. And, obviously the time between Copper and Penny.
Yeah.
So that's where the name was born. And so we've been working on the branding and logos and themes of colors and all that ever since. Yeah. But it's all built around that simple idea.
Isn't it funny how it comes
named after my dog.
Oh, that's great. What a great story. So we'll get into kind of the meat of the project, but to kind of start from the end to before the beginning, what is the ultimate goal that you see, the big picture?
So our goal, again, was to maximize value. I should say optimize value, because we're not trying to cram everything in there just to get the dollar in there. We really want to optimize value, but we also wanted to make sure, going back to that theme of having a place where people can live, play, and still have an opportunity for entertainment and work. So, and I'm sure you and I are going to talk about the term mixed use and what does that mean, because it gets thrown around a lot. But this is envisioned as a urbanized mixed use component with some more traditional residential zones or neighborhoods. We're trying to honor a lot of the natural features of the land. So there's several ponds throughout this property we've purchased, and streams, and we want to maintain as many of those as possible. There's a couple that don't have a lot of value, but for the ones that do, we want to wrap nature trails through this. We give people an opportunity to walk or bike through it. And so at the end of the day, in the overall acreage, we'll provide a place for several thousand residential units, whether that's apartment or single family, but also, office, retail. There will be everything a person could need to stay there and live and work and play. So that's the ultimate goal, and so that's what we've been hard at work trying to plan out. That vision comes to reality.
I think that's great, because you think there's a lot of cities that have the idea of the work, play, but also be outdoors, the health aspect of it. I mean, just the benefit to the community for having all of these things, not only the ease and the Convenience. Thank you. The convenience of just having it right there. I just think that it's a phenomenal.
Well, if you think about, and I live right behind this farm.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the conversations I actually had with my wife and with Craig is, as he was trying to entice me to come in with this as a partner and help steer it, was like, I'm going to sit back and watch somebody else do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then not really like it or just human nature.
Yeah.
Or I can jump in and do it and try to steer it. While I may not be able to get everything I want out of it, I can at least kind of steer it, but I'm risking making all my neighbors mad. So I've been having I was sharing with somebody this morning at a chamber that, some of the conversations I've had, I had a neighbor knock on my door that I'd never met.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about something else. And he asked me, he said, do you know what's going on up there? Such and such, the copper or something? And I said, yeah, yes, I do.
As a matter of fact.
But, every time I've gotten into one of those conversations and the questions people have is, okay, how's this going to do my home value?
Mm-hmm.
What's it going to do to traffic? How am I going to get in and out? And when I explain to them what we're doing, they all, and they all get behind it.
Yeah.
So far, I can't say it's 100%, but so far, the vast majority, once they understand what we're trying to do, share the master. Okay, I like it. Because, for instance, if you can think about where most of the homes are in that area, you got to get, even to go get a cup of coffee, fill up gas, or a sandwich, or almost even go walk a trail, get a car, get somewhere to start. Envision being able to come out of your house and walk or immediately hop on a trail with your kids and your dog or whatever. So that's when I start explaining to people that, and where it is, there's a backside that's Corbin Road, that's a dead end road. Everybody that lives on a dead end road has to go out to mid road, and that intersection is beginning to be hard to get out of. I explained that we're going to have 4 more connected to get you straight over to 42 to see. And they go, oh.
That'd be great.
So it's things like that we're trying to do to not only help development itself, but should enhance the adjacent.
Yeah, that's great. So at what phase right now, where are you with the project and what's kind of happening right now?
Great question. And I'll try to simplify that as much as possible because it's not a project and a phase.
Yes. Yeah.
If you can imagine, just in the core area of our land assembly, we've broken that out into zones A, B, and C. And then we've got what we call ancillary or catalyst type pieces out. I won't spend much on that core. In the zone A, that's about 70 acres, and that's where the densest, most urbanized mixed-use will be. In that zone, we've completed master plan, we've completed our infrastructure design, we are permit ready, and we are in the final throes right now of securing construction funding. We hope to break ground here in the next few months.
Wow.
So we'll be turning dirt this summer.
Yeah. Zone
B is adjacent behind that. That's primarily a single-family residential. There'll probably be 400 in there. We're in design on that now. We expect to have design completed and permits ready by the middle of about a year. Be breaking ground on that by the end of next year. Home delivery probably is late 26, but more likely into 27 timeframe for that section. And Zone C is another residential component that would be a mixture of single family and multifamily. Yeah. And that would follow a similar timeline to Zone A.
Yeah. Now, Zone A, let's go into the explanation of what mixed use is.
Great. So, like I said, I hear that term mixed around or thrown around a lot, and I'm not sure everybody has the same vision of what mixed use is. So, what we are planning is talk about massing first. We're zoned for up to 10 stories.
Oh, wow.
I don't know of anything in Johnston County over 3 at the moment. So, I don't think we'll build 10 stories.
Yeah.
I think it'll most likely be in the 4 to story. So there'll be 4 to 5 multifamily projects that are ground floor retail or mixed use. And then I say mixed use, ground floor retail or commercial, and then residential above. with structured parking. Some of that structured parking will be a podium and everything's on top. Some will be structured with everything wrapped.
Yeah.
You'll see terraces and rooftops like if you think of a main street where the stores line the street, and then they may step back on their roof a little bit, and then the residential will go up above that. And so there'll be rooftop amenities to overlook that main street.
Oh, wow.
So a hotel, hopefully a grocery, and then some medical office, some regular office, and then shopping and lots of food. We think of retail in terms of their mission-based retail. I got to go get my groceries. I got to go get my pharmacy, and I got to go pick this up. And then there is experiential retail where I go and hang out. You know, I go have a drink after work. I go to the wagon park, sit and have my beer, and my dog hangs out with me. Yeah. Those kinds of experiential food and beverage or entertainment. There'll be all of that included. So
That's great.
Kind of give you an idea.
Yeah, that's so exciting. So you say that A is starting first. Is there a hopeful finish date?
I would say our current plan is delivering the first occupied building, again, late 26 to in the 2027 timeframe. It'll take that long to get infrastructure in, and then buildings permitted, built, and then occupied.
Yeah.
So there may be some retail pieces that come along a little bit quicker than that, so in the 26 timeframe, but 2027 should be the real kickoff for the occupancy there. Yeah. And beyond that, this is a massive undertaking.
Oh, I mean, it's just
it will take several years. I tell people, it could be 10 years, it could be a little bit longer before it's completely built.
You never know.
Yeah, so it sort of depends on the market absorption and all that. But
So when you talk about the infrastructure and going back to the roads and the the other exits that you'll have in order to get people to 42, will that happen as the project grows?
Yes.
So as it gets bigger and busier, there's going to be the availability to have the other roads to kind of ease that?
That's a great question. Our Zone A will set up the primary two connections to 42 right up here.
Right.
So one of those is at the traffic signal that's at the Hardee's. Anybody familiar with the area next to the hospital, there's a Hardee's there. That traffic signal will be our entrance.
Yeah,
that entrance, and then one between that and the interstate is a second one. Both of them will be part of the initial infrastructure piece. We've been working very closely with the town and with NCDOT over the phasing of the traffic, but also the phasing of the infrastructure for water and sewer. As part of our initial infrastructure, we're working with the town to build a 1 million gallon elevated water storage tank that will be branded Copper District. And then for sewer, which is a big topic of discussion these days in the county, we're putting in a pump station and force main out to 42, and then for 3.5 miles down 42 all the way into town.
Wow.
That will not only serve Copper District, but it's being sized where the town can take it and serve other developments on the opposite side of 42 and then one down 42.
Yeah.
So that line will serve more than twice what we will ever use.
Wow. That's amazing. And a little off topic from that, but I was just thinking, as far as age demographics, are you focusing on, because in my mind I was like, I can't wait to tell my parents about this because the hospital's right across the street. And I can't wait to tell my sister because she loves to go on Sunday walks to get her coffee. It's one of those where I just feel like it can kind of encompass all, but wondering if you're kind of hyper-focused on one age group.
We are envisioning this could be for all age groups. It really could. You could, in fact, I've got another cousin of mine, not a Penny cousin, work with me, is Al Cameron. Al keeps telling me, he's like, Dean, this is a thing where somebody goes off to school and gets their degree and they want to start their career, they can come in and get a small apartment and start their work. They meet their mate, get married, and move into a larger apartment or a townhome. And then they start having kids and they can move into a larger at home, and they could do all of this within Copper District.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as their kids go out and they want to downsize, they can go back to a townhome or back to an apartment and rental space. And we are envisioning this working for a variety of age groups and demographics. There's some discussions about an active adult piece.
Much needed in this area.
So, and honestly, I didn't know much about the active adults. I obviously had heard about senior living and the graduated living, but there's a whole need out there, and I'm in that where people don't want to maintain a home anymore, but they still are active and they want to be in the community and interacting with other people. So there are these communities out there now that are built just around that active adult and have a lot of, social interaction, but professional interaction within the community.
Yeah.
And so I'm envisioning that there will be one of the pieces of the development.
Yeah, it's much needed in this area, and I don't know that people are very aware of how many retire to the Johnston County. And we know that we have a lot that come from New England, New York, New Jersey, from the South, all of those who tried the floor thing and didn't quite, it was a little too hot. Yeah, exactly. They came back halfway, and here they are now. But I mean, there's a large percentage of those are retirees, and so it's great that you're going to have something for them to give.
But I meet a lot of people that have moved to Clayton or to Johnston County in the last few years, and I've come to start asking, okay, what brought you? And some it's a job brought me here, but for a large part of the 50 plus age group, it's, my kids were here or my grandkids were here, and I'm hearing that a lot.
Yeah, so, I look at my in-laws and my parents. I mean, I know they will inevitably end up in Johnston County, and my husband and I, we came for a job for him and started in Raleigh, and then I look at this job as a godsend for multiple reasons, but one of them is because it introduced me to Johnston County. And I was so excited to be able to move here and become a part of it. And I'm also one of those from the North. I invaded the North Carolina, but I'm so happy that I did.
Sitting here talking to you would never know that.
Yeah. About 20 years ago, prior, I used to pack my car and have it, but I no longer do. My husband always said, because he's born and raised in North Carolina, he's like, I don't know if I could have married that accent. I get that. So I think Johnston County, I always call it a diamond in the rough because most people don't know about it. Now the secret's out,
It is now. And, we have a lot of conversations about what makes Johnston County so special. And unfortunately, so I'll back up and say, communities are either growing or they're dying. It's hard to. Obviously, Johnston County has grown just unbelievable. I can remember delivering the afternoon paper when I was, off my bike. And to think back to what days were like then to what it's like after but when I ask people, what do you want? What do you think you need? And, they'll start naming off this or that store. Then, out of the same breath, they'll say, but I don't want any more people. Shut the door. Here now, shut the door. And, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't, no. Between that, and I always say, it's the county right outside of the state capital. I mean, it's bound to happen.
Well, if you zoom up in the air and start looking at Raleigh as a center, I've always wondered why Clayton and Johnston County took so long compared to, started with Cary, then it was North Raleigh, and then it was Wake Forest, and, now it's Zebulon, Knightdale, Holly Springs, Apex, Fuquay. And the only thing separating us from them was the county line. And but with the completion of I-40, of 540, that's a game changer.
A big-time game changer. Big time.
And that's one thing we are so excited about with Copper District, because we're the next interchange off. So, we're 2 miles off of that. And from Copper District, even without 540, you can get to downtown Raleigh in 15, 17 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's just, and all the people that live in Raleigh can't get it downtown Raleigh for 20 or 25 minutes.
Yeah, or, those who live in Durham and work in Raleigh. I used to have a coworker where she would work 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. because she lived in Durham, and otherwise she would spend that much time in traffic. So with this 540, it's really just going to open up. So many people are going to come here to live because of the affordability, the more property.
Well, there's not many counties too that have 3 interstates. We've got I-40 in I-95 now becoming I-40. So 2 hours to the coast, depending on what part of the mountains you're going to. 3.5 to 4 hours. It's a great location.
It's such a great location. I absolutely agree. I'm so excited for this project. I just think it's going to really bring so much to Clayton and Johnston County, and I can't wait to see it come into fruition. I really am excited. And is there anything else that you want to add about?
I don't think so. We are excited about it. I know there's been a period of time here where we've been kind of radio silent, and people are wondering what's going on because we haven't broken ground. We've been hard at work trying to. So I will take the opportunity to say, when we first announced Copper District, what we had was we didn't think we were going to get the other 100, 250. So when we did end up getting those, we were like, we need to back up. We need to rethink. Let's make sure what we're doing in the original 65 still makes sense.
Smart. Yep.
So it's been a lot of effort rethinking that master plan, making sure it's consistent with the rest. And then, quite frankly, the financial markets have been such a challenge. We've been working through that to try to get the right deals and what can make. But we're on the doorstep now, and very excited about it.
Yeah, absolutely. One more question before I let you go, because I'm also definitely going to have you back once you break ground, and we, in a year from now, we'll need an update on what's going on. Have you talked, my mind always goes to the hospital about, has anybody broached the topic of how they're going to handle the growth that's going to happen in that area so quickly?
Yeah, I know that they've been going through their own master efforts at the same time we have. And so, yes, they are very attentive to what's going on and what their needs are. And I don't want to speak for Johnston Health, but that whole merger of UNC and Johnston Health, created some opportunity, but also some challenges for them, how that was all going to work. Yeah. And I think they've got that, they're working. So there is, in fact, they just finished a new medical office building there at the corner of Amia Church Road and 42. And they've got some other plans. So
excellent.
We think it's going to be a good partnership with proximity to each other.
Yeah, that's great. It just seems to all be coming together. It's just a wonderful project. I'm excited to see it, the groundbreaking and everything happening.
Well, I think we're excited that over the next, I'll say 6 to 9 months, you should start seeing some announcements.
Yeah, wonderful.
So, fingers crossed.
Very exciting. For all those realtors listening, it's gonna start. And how many units did you say?
So we've got, I said 400 within Zone B. We've got a total of 500 single family just within those other properties adjacent to. We've probably got another 5+ single family, and then a few thousand multifamily.
Yeah, that's great. Exciting times. Well, Dean, this has been wonderful. I find it so interesting hearing about this project. I'm very excited for it. So we'll definitely have to have you back and soon. And thank you again.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on the J-Car Report, your go-to podcast for all things real estate. We hope you found our discussion insightful and valuable in your real estate endeavors. Remember, knowledge is power in the world of property. Stay informed, stay curious, and never stop exploring the ever-evolving landscape of real estate. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the J-Car Report and never miss an update. And don't forget to leave us a review or share a podcast with others who might find it helpful. As always, stay connected with us on social media, where we share additional tips, insights, and behind-the-scene content. And if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, we'd love to hear them from you. Thank you for being a part of the J-Car Report community. Until next time, and remember, the world of real estate is full of opportunities, and we're here to help you seize them.